Good morning and welcome. It's a Tuesday edition for Wake Up Nigeria. Now, if starting your day right matters to you, well, hey, then starting with us here on Wake Up Nigeria is your sure plug to a good start every single day.
Yes, so how far we take you this morning is yet to be imagined. Believe me, we have strong lineups of premium content just for your viewing pleasure, and you just need to hang on and see for yourself. Believe in us.
I don't know that track out of jumping
Johnny
with
Drill,
you.
oh my goodness, one of my current favorites.
Okay. In any case, of course, we are set for the morning, and of course, we are going to be unleashing our bumper bouquet that's set up for you just today. So stay with us, don't go anywhere. My name is Mazino Appeal, and she is
Mary Bashua Alimi.
And of course, we're not alone. Let's talk about the lady in pink, not
Yeah.
in red, who is inside of the kitchen. How you doing, girl?
Does this look very unusual for you, Mazino?
Not necessarily, but the funny thing is, this morning, I went into my wardrobe and I said, let me do something very spectacular. I picked out a pink shirt
pink.
and a red pair of trousers.
Please.
And then I said to myself, on
Pink
a
and
Tuesday,
red.
Wallahi, everyone would have yabbed me.
Even the senior producer went red.
Okay, so yes on the pink, no on the pink and red combination.
Really?
Like,
So for
that's
a guy,
too much. For a guy,
what would
no.
that- how would
But
how
it is
should-
okay for a man to wear pink. There's nothing wrong with you men wearing pink,
Okay.
right?
It's
So
funny
let's
because
put that out
pink was
there.
originally a male color, so to
Exactly.
speak. But it's
Exactly.
evolved over the years. But then, of course, the show has just begun. Strap on your seatbelts. Don't forget our flight destinations are GOTV. Yes, you'll find us on channel 16 and UHF band 49.
We're also live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook as well, so you guys can connect with us there. And we have the app that you guys have to download if you haven't downloaded it already. It's on iOS and on Google Play Store, and it's free. Why haven't you?
Yeah, I actually wonder, like, seriously? Anyway, let's tell you what to expect on the show this morning.
Yes, indeed.
We've got Akshay Jain, who is Senior Faculty of Arts of Living. And today, he'll be teaching us a thing or two. I'm pretty sure you're going to be interested in this. Yeah.
Welcome Tuesday edition, Lady in Pink and of
Good.
course Lady in Blue. Nice
Yeah.
dress, nice dress. Thank you.
And the
very
man
much.
in lilac. Can we move on?
Is that lilac? I have a problem with colors. I can't tell exactly the difference
Yes,
between
don't worry.
purple
For
and
you
lilac.
men, everything is purple. It's fine. Yeah,
Very
I know.
true. I don't deny that. I don't deny that. Listen, yeah, so much is going on, and people are actually, I think we've forgotten, especially in the month of June, we've forgotten how to be humans. Because individually, we're all going through so much. Let's face it, fuel price, dollar floating, everything. I'm going crazy. I am going
Let me
crazy.
blow your mind.
What?
Electricity tariff.
Electricity tariff
40% hike.
So before I kick and die over, I wanted somebody to say something nice to me. So but don't worry, I'm not just going to sort for it like so. So I came up with this here. I need you to pick a little, just pick one.
Is jazz involved?
There's
What kind
jazz,
of goal is this?
Very, very jazz. And then pick one of those.
Okay.
I'm going to pick one myself, and I need you to also now pick one of those. Go on.
Sticky.
Yeah, it's not that kind of sticky, Mary.
But it is
It's a sticky paper.
Yeah.
Now, it's inside of there. It's got our different names and then something that you must say about the person. I hope you didn't pick your
I don't
own
have a
name.
name.
You don't have a name? What's going on here?
Are you sure you are giving me the
Pick
right
one.
one?
I have. I've got a name and something.
I still don't have a name.
Mary, you read
Kilo
the
Shele.
process. All right, let's start with MM, who I'm sure has a name.
Yes, I do.
And okay, MM. So whose name do you have there?
Mary,
And what?
honest.
Honest. I need
Maybe
you to
too
say
honest.
I need you to say something honest from you about Mary. Make it deep. Try. It's hard, but make it deep. It's hard for her, not for you.
Say
Don't
it.
skin
Don't
off your
worry.
nose.
Say
All right,
it.
say something honest about Mary. You have to make it quick though.
Oh my, wow, Mary.
While looking at yourself. Go on, Mary. Look at her.
Must be tough.
Okay, I'm supposed to say something honest about
Yeah,
Mary.
something honest about Mary. Something you honestly believe about her.
Okay, something I
Yeah.
honestly believe about her. What do
Yeah.
I honestly believe about Mary? I think she is.
No, say Mary. You are.
Okay, Mary,
Crazy eye.
you are a very
Crazy eye.
strong-spirited person. You're strong-willed. I love your strong will, and yeah, your strong willingness to do things. You can be very resilient, and I like that about you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Makes you wonder what she would have said if she had picked my name. In any case, I've got Mike and encouraging. What to say about Mike and something encouraging about Mike. This is difficult now that it's my turn, especially that I have Mike.
So wow. So you.
How can you encourage a man that is always that's never down? A man
Ogbeni, better talk proper.
exactly. No. Mike is always so. Whatever the case, whatever's happening, he's always. He's a trudger. He just pulls on. And because of that spirit, I'd like you to know that I actually want to emulate that, Mike. If you're out there watching, or if somebody can cut this out and show it to you, that it's a spirit that I actually would like to emulate. And I think that you should keep it up. And I think whatever it is that's going on in your unmarried, sorry, we'll find a wife for you. Is all I'm saying. But that's a bit of encouragement. The bit of encouragement I can give to you.
He is
Whose
married.
name did you pick?
Whose name did I pick? Okay, so I eventually picked MM.
Wow, you
incidentally.
did?
Yes.
You don't have to be nice. No,
so
let's pick another name.
The first word I picked was sweet. The second one, I kept trying to find it, was envy, and the third one was happy.
What do you
But I
envy?
decided to choose sweet.
Okay.
Yes. So
Say
I'm
something
sticking with
sweet.
sweet since it's the
Look
first
her
one
in
I
the
picked.
eye.
So MM. I know most people think MM is I beg. But I actually really think you're sweet.
No.
You
can't use the answer in
have
the question.
a way of, yes, maybe because of, whatever life may have thrown at you, you have a way of always trying to look out for yourself. But at the same time, you have your moments when you can be so sweet, so kind. Like, those moments, I'm telling you, are really amazing. They make me admire you for it, because it can be tough to be someone who has learned to look out for themselves and yet still find moments, tender moments, to still look out for those you care about. I really admire that about you. And I'm saying this because you have done it for me as well.
It's so sweet. Can you
Thank
tell
you
about
so
this
much,
name?
Mary.
Word, see
Say
this
something
one.
sweet
Mazino
about
wants
that
you to say something sweet about
Real
it.
quick before we do the weather.
Please, we are moving on.
Mazino,
Weather now.
you have been a good friend. That's all I can say. You're a sweet friend.
Try this out, please, when you get to the office. Say something sweet, honest, or encouraging to the person that you meet. Start with a smile. It's just something to get your Tuesday going, and I think it's going to help you guys. Who's cutting onions? Let's do the weather.
Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. Now we begin at the nation's capital, where exactly 21 days after May 29 inauguration of President Bola Tinubu, he has retired all service chiefs in Nigeria and appointed new ones whom he has directed to resume with immediate effect. In a statement by the Director Information to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Willie Bassi, the newly appointed officers are 1. Nuhu Ribadu as the National Security Advisor. We have Major General C.J. Musa as the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General T.A. Lagbaja, Chief of Army Staff, Rear Admiral A. Ogala, Chief of Naval Staff, Air Vice Marshal H.B. Abubakar, Chief of Air Staff, DIG Kayode Egbetokun, Acting Inspector General of Police, Major General Epa Nduaindeye, Chief of Defense Intelligence. Now, President Bola Tinubu also approved the following appointments. Colonel Adebisi Onosoya as the Brigade of Guards Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Moshood Abiodun Yusuf as the 7 Guards Battalion Asokoro Abuja, Lieutenant Colonel Awalu Baba Inuwa as 177 Guards Battalion Kefi Nasarawa State, Lieutenant Colonel Mohammed J. Abdulkarim, 102 Guards Battalion Suleja, Niger, Lieutenant Colonel Olumide A. Akingbesote, 176 Guards Battalion, Gwagwalada, Abuja. Similarly, the President has approved the appointment of other military officers in the presidential villa as follows. Major General Issa Farouk Audu, Commanding Officer, State House Artillery, Captain Kazim Olalikon Sumonu, Second in Command, State House Artillery, Major General Kamaru Koyejo Hamzat, Commanding Officer, State House Military Intelligence, Major T.S. Adiola, Commanding Officer, State House Armament, Lieutenant A. Aminu, Second in Command, State House Armament. President Bola Tinubu also approved the appointment of 2 additional special advisors and 2 senior assistants, namely Adiza Usman Special Advisor, Policy Coordination. Hanatu Musawa, Special Advisor, Culture and Entertainment, Economy. Abdullahi Gumel, Senior Special Assistant, National Assembly Matters, the Senate. Olanrewaju Ibrahim, Senior Special Assistant, National Assembly Matters for House of Representatives. The President also approved the appointment of Adeniyi Adewale as the Acting Comptroller General of Customs. The appointment of service chiefs, the Inspector General of Police, and the Comptroller General of Customs are to act in their positions pending their confirmation in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Moving on, President Bola Tinubu has approved the immediate dissolution of the governing boards of all federal government parastatals, agencies, institutions, and government-owned companies in the exercise of its constitutional powers and in the public interest. The dissolution does not affect boards, commissions, and councils listed in the third schedule, Part 1, Section 153 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended. In view of these developments, the chief executive officers of the parastatals, agencies, institutions, and government-owned companies are directed to refer matters requiring the attention of their boards to the President through the permanent secretaries of their respective supervisory ministries and offices. And that's it on the news update for this hour on Wake Up Nigeria. So much more to come. Please stay with us.
Welcome. It's time for What's Up and About. And what's up and about today? Well, since yesterday, there's been, well, actually since last week, Apostle Chibuzo of our Omega Power Ministry has been trending on Twitter. First, it was about the Happy Boys. You can remember the Happy Boys. These kids who were working as security guards at a fast food restaurant that were fired because they were happy. Apparently, Apostle Chibuzo took them outside the country to Cyprus. But they had certain things to say last week, which eventually ended up in an apology from them, saying that they didn't mean what they said. But then again, only just yesterday, something else happened. Something else hit the social media sphere, and it was about another party that he had helped, a family this time. If you remember Deborah from 2022, May last year, who was lynched in, was it Niger State or Sokoto? Sokoto. He apparently had aided the family, relocating them to Port Harcourt, giving them a home, not just a home, but an estate for them to manage a car and the wife a restaurant. And that was all well and good. There was even a video evidence to support that he actually did this for them. But only just yesterday, the family came out to say that the rent is finished and we're stranded. We've had to send our children back to the village because we can't cope anymore. There's not much told about the story, but if the story they are telling is true, because he hasn't yet come out to tell his own part, to say exactly what's happening, then I don't understand what's happening with the church industry. And I say that I'll come back to this later. But I don't know if you've heard the story and what you think about it. Have you heard about the story, Emem?
Yes, I have. I actually, when you mentioned it this morning, I checked a report on it, actually, because there's a report about it. But to be honest, the report wasn't explicit enough, right? So I can't hold off on the information based on this report because it's not clear, right? So yes, based on this other report that you have, there was an instance where this particular apostle called the man out in church, to try and, explain, why this story is in a public space, right? And the man was, because he doesn't speak English, he speaks Hausa. He wasn't exactly sure how to, he couldn't properly articulate, his thoughts, his response, right? But in a nutshell, the apostle has told them that this has been provided for you. Kindly go back to the to the apartment that was provided. He even said he called a mechanic to fix the car that was given to him. So so basically that's the nutshell of the story as at this morning when I read the latest reports on it.
Okay, so well, the thing is this. Most people make promises with good intentions.
Very, very true.
And unfortunately, sometimes they're able to pull it off, sometimes they're not able to. Different factors. It could be economic, it could be a case of you making a promise against something you were expecting that didn't happen and all. But
exactly, not true.
But then there were people who said that he explicitly stated that they had become landlords.
Exactly. There was a video.
Yes, there was a video recording according to where it said they had become landlords, meaning he didn't rent an apartment from there, for them rather. He gave them a house,
a property.
But then, of course, people's understanding of the word landlord differs. You know, for someone who was probably living in a face me, I slap you, and then you have a space to yourself, maybe they feel, okay, at least we upgraded them to this level. I, for one, have always believed that when someone promises you something, do your best to make use of whatever the person has given you and move on with your life. Entitlement will set in if you keep believing the person will come through because the person has come through for you. Note, as they said, he's a pastor. So he has his congregation to care for. So if he keeps caring for you, isn't even part of his congregation. Even his congregation too, we have an issue with it. This is me trying to be as neutral as possible.
And I agree with you, Mary, because even with the Happy Boys story, because that trended throughout last week, right? And there were different reports about it. People were bashing the pastor and saying all sorts of things, even without verifying the story, which was completely wrong. And this is me. This is not me trying to vilify the pastor in any way. This is not me trying to say, oh, he is innocent or he is guilty, right? But there are reports, there are stories. Go and verify, go and read up on it. So for the Happy Boys, sorry, darling, for the Happy Boys, so yes, they came out, they posted on their Instagram page that they have been abandoned after 6 months of not studying abroad. The pastor came forward and said, the reason I abandoned you, it's not like we abandoned you. He has been having financial restraints because of Forex. And also, he has over 4,000 people who are currently under his scholarship program. And he has even gave them, he also even gave them the option, come back to Nigeria and continue your studies.
So based on that, I wanted to say this, and this is why I attended the church industry. Most people would do anything to get a congregation under them. I'm also not vilifying the preacher. But there is also a part of the Bible that says, what your left hand is doing, do not let your right hand know. Publicly publicly putting it out there what you're doing perhaps is also to your disservice when everything starts to collapse. Because I don't think this news would have been inside of the public if that had been something that was done,
quietly.
Euphemistically, so what's the word? Quietly, let's just use that word. Then there's one thing about giving a man a fish and giving him a net. Grand, you would rather have the net so you can go and fish. In this case, it seemed that they were giving a net because they were given an apartment, what do you call them, an estate. So
they were given an apartment from his mini estate.
From his mini estate.
Yes, from the pastor's
however,
mini estate.
we're provided with a car, which was told that you could use as an Uber, and the lady was provided with a restaurant. If you give me a net and I do not know how to use it.
See, that's exactly my point. And that's what I was talking about.
I might need a bit of education.
The entitlements. Look, let's be real. You were given a car for a business. You were given a restaurant, and you say you are suffering. Please, exactly what did you do with the car and the restaurant? This is me just asking a very honest question.
It was what?
The car was faulty.
The car turned out to be faulty later on because the pastor had to get a mechanic to fix it.
There's a lot.
So who was not using the car?
It wasn't functioning. And then the Happy Boys. You were told to come back home to continue your education. You said no because this person promised you this. The promise was carried out. See, the man is still offering to give you an education. But if you want to continue to stay in Cyprus, maybe you'll be sending you the school fees for Nigerian university. Then you will find the rest in Cyprus.
Okay, which of course suddenly
because
they want to come. They happy. Wait, let me even.
The Happy Boys. Let's go back to the Happy Boys. Let's talk about the Happy Boys.
Those boys are ingrates. Yes. Okay, you went to school for 6 months. You were happy in another man's land.
Happy boys.
All the while you were there.
Jinx.
All the while you were there, you did not bother to look for work. You say work is difficult to find. How can work be so difficult to find? I'm sure
they said they were working. They said they were doing odd jobs.
No, they said they were jobs were. Go on, baby. Go back and read the report. They said that jobs were hard to find. That was why they couldn't continue. If not, they could have,
But now that they're not coming back, what would they do there?
Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
see, okay.
Because so suddenly, education is not sweet anymore.
And
don't
no,
want to go
they're
to school
appealing to
anymore.
Nigerians. If you feel you can support them financially to complete their education,
Sorry, where are they? Sorry, no,
Let
where are
them
they?
go-
They're in
let
Cyprus.
them
We're
go
here.
and work.
no.
Have they heard of the forex, the
No,
exchange rates?
it does not matter.
No, it's even
You
easier
can
now.
support their education.
CBN has relaxed.
Listen, yeah.
On
Yeah,
the restrictions.
On either side of the divide regarding the entitlement mentality that you said that the recipients might have, I have a grouse with that one. First off, I think if you're provided with something, be grateful and make use of what you have. On the other side, if you're giving a gift, if you're doing something for someone, perhaps maybe it's not the time to let the entire world know. I think it will be much more appreciated up there if it was done in silence.
Yeah, but Mazino, don't forget that these people were in the public space. It wasn't as if, I mean, the man does these things for his church members.
Listen.
We don't hear
4,000
about
people.
it.
We
No,
don't
no.
know what's
I
happening.
understand.
I guess
See,
this
I
one, this is
appreciate
different.
what
he
This
did.
is singled out.
I appreciate what he
It
did,
was in
but
public
the thing
space.
is this. Did he take advantage of that public space they
It
were
just
in
happened
already?
to
I think
be
it just
so.
happened.
I think
it's just a
happened to
coincidence,
my
really. I don't think,
yeah.
I'm just trying to play the devil's
I'm also not
advocate here.
vilifying
Yeah.
the preacher. I do encourage him to do more if he can, and thank you for everything that you've
See,
done for most people.
as far as I'm concerned, there are so many poor people, there are so many needy people. If you see somebody that is willing to assist you, no matter how little, make the most of it. Because the moment that stream, there's a reason they call it stream of income. The moment the tap closes, you have to take care of yourself, because that person is also looking out for other
For
people
them,
that need the same
exactly.
help. So
Exactly.
that's why some people call it entitlement. When you feel you've come through
yeah.
for me, you should continue doing
And in
so.
some cases, pass it on.
Pass it. In fact, you should.
Pass it
I expect them to
on.
be saying, they've assisted somebody in their village.
Yes,
so,
so I want to assist
you know,
the next person.
yeah, that kind of thing. Please, let's just be keeping those things in mind.
Please, though, you can pass it on to Mazino here because my tank is now half tank.
See, I'm
Once
not
again.
feeling entitled, but you can also bless me. And
then you don't bless
then when you
God,
bless
a
me,
quick-
you have
I
to
am a
continue to
blessing.
bless me.
Amen.
I have a blessing, darling. We're going to quick break now, people. Wake up, Nigeria.
Welcome once again. Thank you for joining. Have you picked up a daily this morning? Well, let's take a look together at some of the headlines that you might be reading up on. And with me, I've got Mary in here.
Indeed. Okay.
Garrulous. Thank you for joining. It's a compliment. It's a good one. Okay, so let's take a look at the Punch newspaper, starting with that one, as we have some very interesting headlines. I'm going to leave the biggest one for last, but at the top of the Guardian, you have FG Labour set up minimum wage committee. Airfares skyrocket as exchange rate hits 702 naira per dollar, and Tinubu woos foreign investors, meets Bill Gates, Airtel founder. And the big one for the Punch is this headline here: Tinubu removes security chiefs, custom boss, appoints Ribadu, Egbertokun, and others. Permit me not to talk on that one, but to go back to the airfare skyrocket as exchange rate hits $702 per naira. Now, first off, you want to touch on that one?
No,
first?
you go ahead first.
So first off, we've been having this issue with the airlines, foreign airlines having their accounts domiciled, or rather their money strapped inside of Nigeria. While the dollar has been, or naira has been let to float, we can expect to see that in the next 1 or 2 months, these things will happen, that our naira will actually begin to slump. This is only the start of what we should expect, quite frankly, because I hear that July is even going to be worse than this. This will always happen, whether you like it or not. But I still think that the intention is good. I still think that, I believe that this will all level out eventually as all the different little bits of the economy start to stabilize. So I don't think it's
So-
cause for panic as at now. if you ask.
The thing is this, especially when it comes to airfares, many airlines are running, especially local airlines, they are running according to an unrealistic mode of running their companies. I've been able to have conversations with a few people that work in the aviation industry, and you realize that if most airlines are to charge fares according to what will actually be very profitable, most Nigerians would not be able to fly anymore, and that's the reality. We began to see it last year when people had to travel with 100,000, 150,000, even more for local flights. As you said, it's going to get worse.
It will
And
get
that's the reality. And so if you even want to buy some tickets, I'm sure international tickets, you go to certain airlines, the foreign airlines, they'll tell you, sorry, you cannot buy in Naira. You have to find a way to get the dollar to buy it. And so just imagine when you now
That's
get
been
the
made
exchange
easier
rates.
now, however.
It's been made easier, but it doesn't change the fact that you're going to be paying higher because of the exchange rates. There's no stable price anymore. So before you could expect, oh, this is how much it would be. But then it fluctuates. If you're lucky, you go there when dollar is 660, you get it cheaper. And if it's 700, yeah.
702.
Yeah.
Well, let's tell, what paper do you have? What paper can we go, or would you like me to go on?
Okay, so I have the Guardian newspaper
Let's talk
now.
about it.
And the Guardian newspaper has this: applause as Tinubu fires service chiefs, dissolves boards of agencies. We have photos of the new appointees right there on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Now, still here, we have federal government Labour fix 8 weeks for conclusion of subsidy removal talks. Road diversion. Motorists, commuters decry unending suffering on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. I believe we're going to touch on that. I'd also like us to touch on the 8 weeks for conclusion of subsidy removal. Okay, so we also have ethno-religious regional sentiments as Senate 6 principal officers. Tinubu pledges to prioritize Nigeria's well-being. Partners, Dangote, Bill Gates, so the poor can breathe. All right, so we're taking a look at first of the road diversion.
Okay. Have you been on that route lately?
So thankfully, no.
Okay.
At least not to the end of it. Of course, if you're coming here, you have to face it at one point or the other. But I just imagine what people going as far as Mowe or Shagamu actually experience being stuck on that lane for a very long time. It must be really frustrating.
It's sad that there are no alternatives to this route. That's the unfortunate thing. The alternatives are going off-road to the side of the road, but even that lately has become a problem. And the fact that people who work in Lagos, especially this area of Lagos, actually come from outside of Lagos, or leave Lagos to go outside of Lagos for, well, their residences.
Yeah. Some people call, I'm sorry I can't come to work today.
Exactly.
Can I work from home?
With everything that's happening, I would have thought that perhaps maybe because there are lesser cars on the road because of the expense being spent on fuel, that would have ended up now, that would have been alleviated or made better.
No,
but it doesn't seem to be the case. However, the road is much better from after, I think, what do you call it, Shimawa or so, or even Mowe, all the way up until Ibadan. That extent, fantastic. Nothing to stop you. But that bit where you have residents, people living, people going or using public transport and all, that's the problem. If there's going to be relief, it might come, but maybe not too soon, as there's plenty of construction going on outside of Lagos, inside of Lagos. Plenty of consideration should be given to commuters, especially by your own employers, if you ask me. I'm just saying. You also wanted to touch on something else.
On the federal government Labour fix 8 weeks for conclusion of subsidy removal talks. Now, regarding the subsidy removal, please, the talk should be on what to do moving forward. People are already trying to get used to this new situation. We already have electricity tariff
going up in July.
Yes. Now, I believe what the government and Labour in particular should be focusing on now is improving life of Nigerians.
Standard of living.
Yes. So for the Nigerians themselves, for the poor, the struggling ones to finally breathe, the only way it can work is for them to actually get value for whatever work they are putting in. You can't be working, going from Mowe to Island, for example, on 70,000 naira salary. There has to be minimum wage. Many companies are making, many companies are making a lot of money. But are you cushioning the effects of this on your employees? Now, by minimum wage, we're not even talking about even the cash. We're talking about different things you can do to make life easy. Okay, now, many companies are now saying stay at home for 2 days. These are things that should have been done even before now. It's more or less like Nigeria is on a partial lockdown, because now companies are realizing, let's save money. Some people are saying, let's shut down some of our offices so that more of our workers can work from home. And guess what? It costs even more for the workers, Because we have to talk about the cost of fuel. If there's no electricity in your house, you're going to pay through your nose for fuel.
Well, the EKDC has said that they're targeting 20 hours of power for Lagos.
20 hours.
20 hours. So that might help you if you're staying at home. I mean, coming from 2 hours of power from before, maybe not even at all. Listen, let's do one last paper before we go. That's the Vanguard newspaper. And let's finally talk about this headline here. Tinubu sacks service chiefs, dissolves boards of MDAs. Nuhu Ribadu named NSA, Egerton acting IGP. Plenty of talk about this, as you can see. It's the major headline on all the papers. Is this good news? Many would say that since the former service chiefs were in power or in seats, they had done absolutely nothing regarding the Nigerian security situation. It might come as a bit of relief to have them taken away. But what do we have in the future? What do these new service chiefs have to play with? The conditions that they're coming from, and what might they propose going on forward? There's so much to think about.
I would expect that they weren't just appointed. They were asked questions. What's your plan? There will probably have been certain interviews. There would also, even if there were not direct interviews, there would have been people who have been asked to find out, okay, what do you think is the capability of this person and all. Nigerians,
also the experience from...
And experience as well. Nigerians need this security issue sorted out. Interestingly, insurgency has seemingly reduced over the last
so that's
few
the
months.
Question.
And I find
Why
that...
has it reduced so far?
The thing is, many people do not realize that the whole Boko Haram insurgency fight had been ongoing for a very long time, and the government had already put in a lot. As at February this year, it had drastically reduced. So much so that even when we started talking about, besides insurgency, what we've been talking about now is kidnapping and banditry. That's the one that now increased instead of insurgency. Insurgency has been on the decrease for some years now.
Well, the kinds of crimes will change eventually. But we just
sadly.
hope that they put in their best to their office and hope that Nigerians get the relief that they have always sought since. Well, thank you very much for joining us for the papers. Hope that you got a bit of review on that one. You can't pick any of them up, maybe even add us in your conversation. All you need to do is use the hashtag Wakeupnigeriaontvc. We would like to read from you. Do stay tuned. We've got more coming your way.
I guess Mazino is not interested in what's happening here in the kitchen, but it's okay. It's okay, Mazino. We are making village rice. Right. I was going to say village fried rice. And then I'm like, oh, no, it's not village fried rice. Welcome to the kitchen, guys. Chef Walia is here, and she'll be making village rice. Ooh. Sounds yummy already. Okay, run through the ingredients for us.
Okay, we have our parboiled rice.
Okay.
We have our onions. We have our palm oil, our pepper mix. We have our tatashi.
Okay.
Scotch bonnet, that's rodo, and a little bit of tomato.
Okay.
So we have our seasoning cube and salt. We have our plantain, crayfish powder. We have our smoked fish, popularly known as panla. And we have our beef stock. Our beef is here also, pomo, eggs, and we have our uziza leaf and saint leaf, ifeanyi in Yoruba.
And we also have iru.
Yeah, and we also have our iru because...
Wow, quite a spread we have here. Well done, Walia, well done. This fried rice or this village fried rice, village rice. Maybe I'm hungry for fried rice. I guess I am, right? I mean, because that would only explain why I keep saying fried rice. But hey, we are making village rice here, and quite a lot is going into this village rice, I must say. Yeah. So where do we begin? I see that we've already parboiled our rice.
So we'll be starting with our stew and then the orishi-rishi.
Orishi-rishi. Talking about orishi-rishi, we are actually literally using a lot of orishi-rishi here. I mean, you have panla, you have chopped beef, fried meats, we have pomo, we have plantain. This village rice definitely is going to have that. And yes, we'll be right back in a bit while Chef Aliyah starts prepping things up for our village rice. So stay with us. We'll be right back. And we are back. Thanks for staying with us. That was quick, wasn't it? I know, right? Welcome to the kitchen, guys. With me is Chef Walia of Leah Chops. And this morning, she's making village rice. How do you make your village rice? I wonder. Well, I would like to know, so please do not forget to send us those pictures and images, or just let us know how you make your own village rice on our socials, especially on Instagram, using the hashtag Wakeupnigeriaontvc. And just in case you do not know what our handles are, it is at TVC Connect. Over waiting to, to see how you make your own village rice, or basically just tell us how you make it, right? Okay, so Walia, let's run through the ingredients once again for the benefit of those who are just joining us. We are making village rice. So run through the ingredients and then tell us what you're doing right now.
Okay, we have our parboiled rice. We have our chopped onions,
Okay.
roughly blended peppers. We have our plantain, seasoning cube and salt, our crayfish powder, our smoked fish, our beef stock, meat, our already fried meats, and then eggs, and we have our small crayfish here too.
Okay.
Uziza leaf and scent leaf with our locust bean.
Okay, great. And I see that you've already heated the pan with,
Yes, with our
palm,
palm
oil.
oil.
So
So
what are we doing first?
our onions are going in first,
Okay.
then our locust bean.
Okay, and take note that for some of the ingredients here, they're very rich in antioxidants. For example, our iru is very, very healthy. And then you have your scent leaf as well and uziza leaf. These guys are packing on a lot of nutrients that are very, very beneficial to your health. So don't sleep on this items if you are cooking your village rice. Okay, so now that is oil hot enough?
Yes, it's hot now, so we are putting in our onions.
Okay. So I'm guessing if you don't want to blend your onions, you can chop it, right?
Yes.
Great. Depends on how you like your onions. If you're the type that likes to see your onions in your food while you're eating it, then you just dice it, or you like chop it up. Sometimes I like them in very large chunks, right? So that when I'm eating and enjoying my food, I just, take in the onions. But some people don't like onions, right?
Some people don't like saying it
at all.
So that's why I decided to stay in the middle. So chopped it.
Okay. So what's going on next?
Iru is going to go in so that it can add that flavor together.
Yeah. So Iru actually plays a lot of roles in our meals. So from giving it that, lovely taste, so that, an aroma, right? It also is very rich in a lot of nutrients as well, right? So
we'll allow it saute for a few, 2 minutes.
Okay.
Then our fish will go on. We want to fry our fish too, so that it can add that flavor to
the stew.
Then we'll add our other
ingredients. All right. Okay, great stuff happening here in the kitchen. Pretty excited about this morning's breakfast. I hope you are at home watching as well. Well, we have to head over to the couch for some health discussion with Mazino and Akshay.
Well, thank you very much, Welcome inside of Health. We have a very interesting guest here with us, Akshay Jain. He's a senior faculty of Arts of Living and has taught happiness, corporate and youth courses across India, Europe, and also here in Africa. These programs impact tools and techniques to participants on healthy and happy living. He's worked on multiple service projects like youth leadership training programs, Prison Smart, and also 5H programs. Now, he's talking about impact of food on your mind and body. I mean, imagine that, You are welcome, Akshay.
Thank
to
you.
have you here. Where exactly are you from, by the way?
I'm from India.
You're from India.
Yes.
Okay, you've tried our Nigerian food, have you?
Yes, I've tried a couple of dishes in Nigeria.
All right, do you notice we're having something very special today?
Yeah, and you spoke about it, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've tried that.
You haven't tried pomo?
No.
You haven't?
Never.
Well, you don't eat meat, so
I don't
you
eat meat, yeah.
Oh, well, okay, we'll talk about that, but the impact of what we eat. Are we what we eat, basically?
Yeah, it's a popular saying, we become what we eat. But if you look at food, it has an impact. Normally we say we eat food so that we get nutrition for the body. But food also has an impact on mind.
Oh.
For example, if you have eaten a heavy lunch, how do you feel after that?
A bit sleepy sometimes.
Most of the offices, they don't want to have important meetings after lunch hours.
Exactly.
Isn't it? So if you eat very heavy meals, it has an impact on your mind. You feel dull, lethargic. So we categorize food into 3 types.
Okay.
One which brings dullness in the mind. So you feel non-interested in things, lethargic, dull overall. So that is one category of food. The second category of food would be which causes restlessness, activity in the mind. So you may have seen some people, they're shaking, they're sitting. So, mind is restless, mind is running, rushing.
Yeah.
So food has an impact on that state of mind.
Okay.
And then there is a third type of food which brings calmness, focus and positivity in the mind.
Okay.
So if you understand food, you can actually eat the right thing and make sure that you're energetic.
Okay.
And it's also like we feel that, oh, if I eat too much, it will be better for my body. It is on the other side, it impacts your body adversely. So the more you eat, the more toxin, the more waste accumulates inside the body, right? So food becomes a very important part to see how you maintain your energy levels and how focused you are in the mind.
Okay, so if I want to be very energetic, or if I want my mind to be fast-paced, and what kind of food exactly now, examples should I be looking to eat?
So light food which is easily digested, right? So the food, as I said, the third category of food where it brings focus in the mind means fresh food. That is one very important part.
Okay.
Then easily digestible food. So normally we say plant-based food is very good,
Okay.
because any plant-based food can be digested within 3 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours.
Okay.
And very heavy meat diet can take anywhere between 6 hours to 72 hours to digest. So the more heavy the food is, the more it takes to digest and throw out of the system. It also, there's a concept called prana. Prana means subtle life energy inside us.
Subtle life energy.
Energy inside us. So high prana food will be that which can give birth to another food. For example, a seed. If you have a plant-based thing, they can give rise to a new life. So it has some potency to give life. Whereas the other part of food is dead food. It does not give life.
Okay.
Right?
So I'm seeing two different kinds of food here. If I want it to impact my mind, so it's either I'm vegetarian or that I eat meat.
Yeah. So
Is there a real tangible demarcation between two different kinds of people who eat different kinds of food? Like
not really. So
vegetarian
I won't
versus-
say that meat eaters are they will be dull and so there are many very intelligent, bright, energetic people who eat meat, but to take it in the right quantity at the right time.
At the right time.
At the right time.
When is the right time, would you suggest?
When you feel hungry.
When you feel hungry.
That's the first thing. You should eat when you're hungry. See what impact it does. When you feel hungry, that means there are enough acids in the stomach. And when you're not hungry, then stomach is resting. It does not secrete those acids to break down your food. So, and people eat all the time. You are eating, you're snacking.
Yeah.
So any time is a good time to eat food is what we are doing today. But eat when you're hungry and small portions.
Okay.
Stomach is maybe this much size, and how much do we eat?
But it can expand. And
It can
you wanna
expand.
Eat a whole lot.
So which means you're stretching it out, you're giving it too much work to do, and that's not good in the long term.
Okay, does that take away the culture of having breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Are you saying that if I have to eat only when I'm hungry, then maybe if my body says eat only twice a day, I could or should eat only twice a day?
So some people, so it is very dependent on your body type. So according to Ayurveda, which is the Indian traditional medicine science, they categorize bodies into 3 types.
Okay.
So one type is more prominently with air element, where they want movement, these type of people, and they can eat frequently.
Okay.
There's another type which is fire dominant, and these people get hunger, and they can also, if they don't eat on time, they can become angry and they can't handle, they can become a little cranky. And then the third type is they can easily manage hunger. They may eat one straight meal in a day, and that's fine with them. So it depends. You have to understand your body and then accordingly treat it with the right type of food. Timing, I would strongly discourage very heavy one meal a day. I see that culture here.
Very heavy one meal a day
is not a very good idea.
A lot of people actually practice that.
I think
How is that a bad thing?
So I think the genesis of this here is because people have very difficult lives. They start very early in the morning and come back very late, so they don't get time to eat food. So what they tend to do is they eat once and they feel that it will continue. But many times when you have a heavy meal in the morning, you come to office and you're sleeping. Not a good idea. So have smaller portions. 1, 2, or 3 times is a good meal habit.
So personal experience, from when I was a kid up until when I was perhaps maybe 17 or 18, I had I don't know what to call it, but I never felt hunger.
Oh, good for you. Some people can survive on sunlight also. I've heard of that.
I grew up a very skinny kid in any case, but I never felt hunger. So for such a person who is likely not to, how can they then prorate how they eat across the day?
So there can be 2 aspects to it. One is maybe you have something wrong, so you should get it tested with the doctor.
I'm glad I don't have that.
So, but if you are energetic, I think then your body is able to take whatever small food you're taking, they can gather from
No matter
that.
how small.
And see, as human beings, as animals also, the animal kingdom, they know what is suitable for them, and from there they are able to derive the best energy. For example, elephant is one of the strongest animals, and what does it eat?
Vegetation.
Vegetation. And it can derive all the protein from that. So the way we are structured, the way our teeth are, the way our intestines are, we are suitable. We have certain food which are suitable for you, and that's what we should be eating.
Okay. How do you manage your eating habit personally?
So I have 3 meals a day. I start with the breakfast around 8 o'clock, and then
What
lunch.
does your breakfast consist of?
So we have a lot of Indian stuff. So you won't maybe understand
Okay.
so much of it.
Protein based or is it vegetables?
Mix. So it is vegetables. It's protein. Protein means now protein. In the Nigerian parlance means meat.
Yes, plenty of it.
So, but we have a lot of plant-based proteins. So I eat a lot of plant-based protein, rice, wheat. So these are our staple diet.
And for your last meal, you suggest that people do what? Because that's very important.
Last meal, especially if you're having late in the night, should be very light. Maybe soups and some light meal, so that you can digest it and then sleep. Because if you eat and sleep immediately, that also creates toxins in the body.
Okay. Very interesting. I think I want to learn more, and I'm hoping that you come back and tell us more about this, because I think I need to restructure a lot of my mind, and I would like it to be based on what I eat.
Yeah, and if you become sensitive to that, you will see that you can observe your own mind, how at certain times you're very restless, how at certain times you're very dull. So you can yourself do certain things to push yourself into the positivity and focus.
Actually, I must say there's a certain calm that comes with your visit every time you're here.
Thank you.
And I always look forward to it. I will be looking forward to it again next week.
Thank you
for always.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm hoping that you learned something from there. You are, or your mental state, is a function of what you put inside of you, what you eat. So, hey, observe what you eat and see how it works in your body, and maybe take sample from some of the things that Akshay has let us know here. Thank you. Do stay tuned. We're coming up with more inside of Wake Up Nigeria. It's very, very interesting. You guys are welcome back. Now, there are 1,440 minutes. That means we have 1,440 daily opportunities to make a positive impact. And I'm talking about minutes inside of a day. So, hey, every single minute is an opportunity for you guys. Don't waste it.
Yeah, so we spent the past 60 minutes bringing you a potpourri of content splendor to make your head, to keep your head up, I more like, and of course your spirits up.
Yeah, and if you have taken anything we've just learned, make sure that your breakfast this morning is something that lifts your spirit and makes your mind vibrant.
Like the aroma in the kitchen.
Yes, it's
coming from the kitchen right
aromatic.
now, and we are trying to stay sane.
Well,
Wow.
this is not supposed to make you stay sane.
Can you imagine?
It's supposed to drive you crazy.
Oh,
Oh, gosh,
Did
amen.
you even listen to the last segment at all?
Amen.
Yes, Chef Wale, yeah, he's hard at work here, making sure that our village rice comes together nicely, right?
Yeah.
Good.
It is coming together nicely in our noses, if you think about it that way.
Coming from the village people. I mean that in a good sense. Anyhow, welcome once again, second hour here. Let's see what we're going to have for you guys if you spend the next 45 minutes with us. But first, let's go over to what we have coming up, and also remind you guys that you can always catch us live if you have our app on your phone. All you need to do is download it. Make sure that you have that, whether it's iOS or on Apple Play Store. It is available for you guys.
Now, you can stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect. You can also catch us on GOTV channel 16 and on UHF band 49.
All right, so coming up today for the next 45 minutes on the show here, my name is Mazino Appeal, of course. Welcome back to second hour.
Yeah, he did.
All right, quickly. I just stumbled on a tweet and I think it got my attention.
Okay.
It sort of also struck something because I remember us discussing once if you still use your dining area.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have a very interesting experience, but go on.
Yeah. So this one says the living room is slowly going extinct. Nobody wants to chill there, you know, for long anymore. Everyone just wants to be all by themselves in their rooms, on their phones. And then you have the Igbalode people who even say they don't want to share rooms with their spouses.
That's where they reside.
Yeah.
Is it in your instance, is it?
No, it's actually not. I think we look forward to that, you know,
Family time inside of
you
the
know,
living room.
inside of the living room, because then you see the kids, you know, dancing to, you know, songs on YouTube nonstop, and then you have dad joining them. It's always so much fun. I always forget to document it.
Yeah.
I didn't have that experience growing up, and it's basically become the highlight of my day sometimes. Oh yes, it has.
It's a very funny input here because thinking back at it now, I think I spend more time in the kitchen now.
With your wife.
Very interesting here because she's always
In the kitchen, yeah.
So I would find myself to keep her company because I know she's putting in so much work. We have these stools inside of the kitchen. In fact, if you go on my Instagram page, you'd find out that you'd find me in the kitchen. Most of my content now is from inside of the kitchen.
You help her out.
I don't. But
I like the honesty.
I think that the company
Yeah,
is making our
everything
relationship
for- yeah,
better. Because I'm telling her that I know you're working, and instead of just leaving you in here and being, you know, someplace else, you know, I appreciate what you're doing. So I might even be watching a movie, but I'm inside of the kitchen. I'm inside of it. So, is the living room in my instance going extinct? No.
The kitchen.
No.
It's
It's
not-
not really.
It's not the living room. The kitchen has become your living room.
They're competing. They're
Yeah.
competing. Let's put it so.
So the thing is, many people are working from home now. And so unfortunately, there is no such thing as living in your house anymore. People,
working in your
yes, and then many bosses don't know where to draw the line. So you find work that you're expected to submit the next morning, first thing in the morning, something that normally wouldn't happen because you're supposed to be on the road home. And so you have to work longer hours. And that's the trap of working from home.
Yeah, but
You
know,
work more.
Mary,
Where
I
do
have
you
also
work
come
from?
to realize that a lot of us really lack time management. A lot of us do not understand the efficacy behind time management. Some people do not even know what it
If you work from home, would you resume at a certain time and end work at a certain time?
Do you understand?
You wish.
What?
No, you
Then-
won't.
It depends on the kind of work you do. Believe me, you wish.
There's the convenience of
Some work.
your refrigerator, your bed.
Do you understand? A lot of distractions when you're working from home, especially when you have kids. It's not like you're going to lock yourself up in your room and then you're just going to be, you know,
No, of
you're
course
going
not.
to, you know, be in your
But sometimes you
system.
might
But
if you have a
question,
deadline.
And
Would
then
you
you-
make your living room that workspace, or would you do that in bed?
Is it not someone that has luxury of rooms? What about people that don't have that luxury?
Oh, wow. That's from another
As
angle.
in,
Is your living room going extinct? I mean, since after the eradication of the dining room, maybe the living room is next to go. Please save the living rooms, be more family, spend more time together.
And I think it's also the intentionality.
Yes,
You
be
need to
much
be
more
intentional.
yeah, when it comes to families, yes. you
Let's do the weather, and when we're back, we've got more for you.
Please, I'm more interested in what's happening in that kitchen.
From the kitchen is so scintillating that Mazino couldn't help himself. He needed to join in. You're welcome, Mazino.
Thank you very much. I was very curious. I'm still very curious. I see that we've cut our plantain in little bits like
First,
dice.
let us tell people what we are making.
I know what we're making. We're making village people rice.
Village rice.
Village rice.
Yes,
Okay,
people.
but I'm confused because it seems ready and there's still so much. There's vegetables and everything. What else do you want to add inside?
No,
Can we open it?
let's
Take
do it again.
out the lid. Ooh, look at that.
Nice. I see some fish in there.
So, Walia, to quickly tell us
Okay.
what's happened.
I fried my stew,
Okay.
just like palm oil stew. I added the fish, the crayfish, the fried meat and crayfish too, and the grounded crayfish too are in there. So then I allow it to fry a little bit. Then I added my parboiled rice.
Okay.
So that's what's still there for now. Then
What is that?
what?
That
this,
now?
this beef stock. So I added a little bit of beef stock in
okay.
there instead of adding water. So I
Okay.
added my beef stock for flavor.
Very funny. I was talking to Akshay, who we had for our health, and remember what he said? He said he's never tasted pomo. In fact, he was surprised that we eat pomo here in Nigeria.
Yeah, because, well,
Like-
they're supposed to be used for leather.
For
bags.
leather, like we're eating
And yeah, we're
leather here.
Yeah, but interestingly, some experts would say that pomo has a few nutritional benefits, and then some others would say it doesn't.
I think it just makes you happy.
So I think it just makes you happy, exactly.
It's a
And
happy
it's the
meal.
joy
Yeah.
from eating pomo that actually makes it more enjoyable for us,
Yeah.
right? So I see that you're already chopping up the scent leaf and the
and the
uziza
uziza
leaf.
leaf, yeah.
Okay. So when does that go into the
Going
rice?
in last.
Okay.
Last.
Yes.
So we are still going to allow the rice simmer
Yes,
a
simmer a
bit?
bit. Then we had our crayfish we're adding more
Crayfish
crayfish
for extra
the
flavor.
Then
Okay.
we had our eggs. Then
We're gonna cut the egg inside.
no, we are
Just
not
one
gonna
whole
put
egg.
it in.
yeah,
Like
just
I
What are we
like
doing?
it.
one pot.
What are we doing
rice.
with plantains?
So we are also using the plantain to garnish. So I'm going to fry my
Fry
plantain now.
Okay.
So
And when was the last time you had scent leaf, Mazina?
So I eat it raw.
Ooh, nice.
actually
Yes,
do
you
raw.
have issues with your eyes. It's supposed to be good for your eyesight.
Well, then there is that, but I know, actually said this. The fresher your meal is, the more effect it has on your
On your
mind.
exactly.
So I eat most things. If I can make it, if it's edible, I try it out raw first, and if it's okay, I don't mind doing it second. Remember what we said from before?
Yeah.
The kitchen is now my
your
my
abode.
resident go-to place. So I've tried everything raw, quite frankly.
Yeah, but then in this, it's funny how a lot of us take our vegetables for granted, right? So it's either we're overcooking it,
Yeah.
or we're not even having
Exactly.
it at all.
that's why this
like
is
that we're
coming
adding
in
it.
last.
Yeah.
So we are even going to turn off the heat, then add
And
it,
put
then
it
just
in.
allow it to simmer,
Simmer.
the heat.
When you serve mine, save a little bit and just add it on top, raw as garnish. That's how I like it.
Nice.
I got you.
Because that way you're going to get all the nutrients fresh from the leaf, and then you also have uziza leaf here that's also very good.
That one's better.
And yes, it helps with your digestion, your bowel movement, you know, basically.
Can I try raw uziza?
everything.
Let me have some. Give me a piece. Uziza leaf raw.
You should eat it.
Nah. Not very nice.
But it actually has a very lovely flavor that it gives to
Yeah,
your
it adds to
adds
the meal.
to the meal, yeah. Complements it really nicely. Well done, Chef Walia. Well
you.
done. Right. And yeah, so breakfast is it's coming up pretty nice, almost ready, to be honest, right? And yeah, so that's it for now here in the kitchen. We're going to quick break, people. Wake Up Nigeria continues in a bit. Stay with us.
And you're welcome. We have a very exciting final guest here in the studio with me, and her name is Tekla Uzozie. I got that right. She's an actor, creative writer, producer, and also filmmaker who has mastered the art of storytelling in all forms, ensuring that while she creates, she is impacting positively with her creativity. Now, she has, amongst others, worked in a capacity of a writer and also a script editor on projects such as Tokumba, Lockdown, and the Bright Prize. You are welcome here, Tekla.
Thank you.
First of all, that sounds like an electric car, but give me not a Tesla. I'm sorry, but
Oh, yeah.
Tekla, what is that? Where's that from?
Okay, the name is originally Greek. My father gave it to me, which is why it's so special.
Oh, that's nice.
Right, and it means glory of God.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's good. Welcome here on the show.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your outstanding abilities in the film industry, our space. You're not only a writer, you're a producer, you also act as well. Which one comes first today, sitting down here?
I think it's actually a full package.
Full package.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think there is any order to it anyway.
Okay.
Right? So it's just like whichever one comes at a particular point in time. Yeah.
Okay, so in the Nigerian film industry space, would you say that you've experienced anything that is outside the ordinary as compared to anybody who also has your kind of abilities? Before we talk about all the little works that you've done.
I mean, it's just like a general, it's a general experience, right? The industry is tough. It's quite tough, but we are tougher.
We're tough.
Yeah, definitely. So you're going to put in the work. It's a it's grueling. So you have to be tough, put in the hard work, and of course, be open to learning at all times. Yeah.
Nigerian stories are quite the hardest to tell because we have so many things happening, our diverse culture, the people, our different characteristics and everything that go. When you write a story, or when you put together these stories, since you're a very, very good one, what's the one thing that you think people want to hear or see instead of a story? What's that thing that you think grabs people when they hear a Nigerian story or when they see a Nigerian movie? And how do you apply that in your work?
I think it's the authenticity, the nuances. You know, there are certain things that you see in Nigerian movies and you're like, oh my God, I feel connected to that. That's why we love the movies that we love. We see them and we're like, this happened in my village, right? So it's like the stories are quite universal. It's just the way we tell them, right? The route to which we get to the end of the story. Yeah.
You don't feel underappreciated in any way as one of the people who don't get to be seen on screen all the time. Be honest now, because I've seen some very exciting Nigerian stories, especially the way that our movie industry is going right now. The stories are mad, but you find out that you're only seeing, oh, that was Toby on there, he did a fantastic job. Oh, that was Ramsey, no, he did a fantastic job. What about the people who write the story? Do you feel in any way underappreciated sometimes?
It's quite different for me because I started off as an actor,
Yes, you
right?
did.
So I also act alongside writing. But the truth is, a lot of writers do not want to be seen, really. They just want to, yes. I know my friends who go, I don't want to be seen. I just want to be known as someone who puts out good work. You know, so writers all over the world are quite underappreciated, but that is personally not my experience, right? So that does not invalidate any other person's experience. But for me, I've been fortunate to work with people who value the art. Credit is very important in this job because nobody sees your face as a writer. But if your name is not stamped on the stuff you do, it ends up, you end up faceless, so to speak. So I've had the opportunity of working with the likes of Moses Wang, Chris Ode, who made sure that my name was stamped on every single thing. I mean, Trinity Ogonabo, like my name is stamped on every single thing. So it's like, oh, I wrote that. Nice. And you can actually see the credit.
Okay. Now, we're going to show a video in a bit, and we're going to talk about that video. I think it's one of your work. This is you. Let's take a look at that. Now, can you tell us what character that was, where that was, what's happening here, who this is?
Oh, my God. This is so hilarious. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, you guys want to go there? But I'm quite proud of that work. That was me playing the 16-year-old Halima.
Halima?
Yeah. From my final project at Ebony Life Creative Academy. Yes, I took the acting for screen course there, and it was...
What's the story behind Halima? Is there a story? Is there an interesting story?
Yeah. So she's a young girl who wants to go to school, but because of her environment, I mean, they would rather... Her sister and her brother-in-law would rather she goes to hustle and get married, prepare herself for marriage. So she insists on going to school anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I know you have a project coming on Tokumbo. I'm going to talk about that. But first of all, I wanted to ask you, take us through the process of deconstructing Tekla and then reconstructing a totally different character, like perhaps Halima. What goes through your mind? What methods do you apply? How do you go through that change, that transition from boom to boom?
Okay, so particularly for this project, it was quite tasking because I had to sit in sadness for a while to be able to make sure that that emotion translates to the audience. So it's just about me having my space, staying there, making sure this is you, this is Halima, you're not Tekla anymore. And also, I spoke Hausa in the film.
Do you speak Hausa?
No, I don't. I had to learn for the role. Right.
And how good do you think you did?
Oh, well, that is, that is left for the original.
Did you speak it in English with the accent, or did you speak Hausa itself?
No, I spoke Hausa.
You spoke Hausa.
Yeah.
Do you still remember any?
Yes.
Please, can we have it? Can we have it?
Bayin shiri auriba.
What does that mean?
I'm not ready for marriage.
You're not ready for marriage?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, let's talk about Tokumbo. Tokumbo's upcoming. Tokumbo's a project that you wrote and directed by Ramsey Noah. Tell us about that, what to expect.
So that project, I am super proud of it. I mean, I'm proud of all of my projects, but that one particularly, I'm proud of it. So I got on the project after I finished from the masterclass with Chris Ode.
Okay.
Yes, it's a yearly masterclass for producers and aspiring producers. So I applied, got in, and I came out as the most creative and articulate
That's the
student.
masterclass there. We can see the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This was me.
Most
preaching.
articulate student, huh? I could tell. That's interesting.
So-
Is that Ramsey? Who's
Yeah,
that? That's
yes.
Ramsey. He is aging with grace.
I mean, it's literally a vampire.
He is actually.
So-
But more about the Tokumbo now.
Yeah, so I got on the project because I came out as the most articulate and creative student, right? So I came on board as a creative producer and then subsequently as a writer on the project. And this is one project that you would love to see. It's going to come to the Nigerian cinemas and subsequently streaming platforms the last quarter of the year, hopefully. And
What should we look forward to? Is it an emotionally gripping story?
oh yeah, it has the emotions, it has the actions. I mean,
Is it sad, happy, exciting? Which is it?
all the bits,
I like
everything.
sad movies. I like it when a person can translate that sadness and make me feel it. Do you think you can, if I pulled out a book now and asked you to read it in the saddest way possible, I can see you getting ready already. I can see you getting ready already.
That's what we do.
I'm just going to pick out any random book from our library here. Mushy, mushy feeling. This is not exactly something that you
Okay,
could be sad
I
about.
hope I do not
Going
embarrass.
to page 101. In the
Okay.
saddest way possible. Can we turn out the lights? Can we turn out the lights? Is it possible? Please, can we turn out the lights? And I don't know. Well, maybe I'm going too far, yeah? Okay. The saddest way possible.
I hope I make Dricus proud.
Yeah, make me sad.
Let them
Go on,
answer as well.
Tekla. Here we go. Scene.
However, it's not enough reason to make a man want to marry you. In fact, it has little to do with our decision. Let me just make this simple for you. The most important factors men consider when deciding whether we want to spend the rest of our lives with you happens outside the bedroom, not inside.
That was beautiful. Tekla, thank you very much. That was beautiful, actually. I wish I could do that. I should try out for a movie role or something.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
actually crying. She's actually crying. I think I am tearing as well. That was so
Please
nice.
stop it.
Oh, you stop it. Well, thank you very much, Tekla. We're looking forward to Tokumbo. I'm actually tearing.
Oh.
We're looking forward to Tokumbo, and you know what? Somebody's cutting onions. Please, Tekla, fantastic. Thank you for coming. Looking forward to Tokumbo. Hoping to see more of your work inside of the Nigerian movie space. Maybe eventually, finally, get all that money and we can get you a Tesla, something like that.
Oh, please. Gladly.
All right. Well, hey, what we got coming up for you next? It's the end of the show already. Let's find out what is happening inside the kitchen, and guess who's joining us? Tekla. She'll be happy now this time, I promise you. We'll be trying out our village people rice. Come on over. Let's bring you here.
And we are back. You're welcome to the kitchen, Tekla. Yes,
Daddy.
this is Chef Walia, and of course that's Mary. And this morning, Chef Walia has made for you village people's rice in Mazino's
Village people rice, yeah?
but it's actually village rice. So please enjoy. I would also like to know what you think about it. So please
It looks amazing.
dig in.
Yeah, it does, really. Wow.
Yeah, I know. You need to.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like she has to feed her eyes before she feeds.
Really, I have to savor
She's a
it.
method actor. She has to consume it one how first.
Wow.
Wow. Wow, Walia.
Wow for Wali.
Nice one. Nice.
This feels like I'm home.
Oh.
Thank you.
Well done, Walia. Well
Nice.
done. And thank you so much, Tekla, for being on the show today. Such a pleasure having you.
Pleasure
And
be
to
here.
all our guests, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. And to you at home, thank you the most.
Thank you, everybody. Catch you guys for a Wednesday edition tomorrow, bright and early at 7 a.m. Bye-bye now.
Bye.